Good evening, Hawks fans, and welcome back to the Atlanta Sports District. I am your host, Russell Spence, here with the old man.
Howdy.
After a 107 to 106 victory against the New York Knicks, a wonderful game to watch. I love that we finally got a win in this postseason. I do think that we are the more talented team. We'll get into exactly why I think that, but hard-fought victory in this game. Came back from down, and I'm just really happy we had the grit and the determination and the heart to come back and win this game. What do you think, old man?
Proud of the guys. Couple of things. One, I can't wait to tune into what's Stephen A's shows now.
First Take.
First Take. There you go. And also get up to hear all of New York crying, as Robertson would say, over what happened here and blaming people. And I think Mike Brown's got some questions to ask answer about who shot the last shot of the game. But I'm extremely proud of the fellas and guys. I mean, it would have been easy we're down one game to none. It's in New York. It's at Madison Square Garden. Everything, all the celebrities are out there and everything. So easy to just phone it in at the end and said, let's just go try to see what we can do when we get to Atlanta. But they didn't do that. They buckled down and they worked very hard. I'm still trying to figure out how we won it, but I'm glad we did.
Well, it was a hard-fought victory, and honestly won it on the back of our defense. But I want to go ahead and get into the key statistics so we can talk about exactly how everything shook out. And, last game I talked about how the fact that we actually held Jalen Brunson to a negative efficiency game, and we won the rebounding battle and still lost. We didn't win the rebounding battle, but we were above water. We still got a good number of our defensive rebounds. Tonight,
good percentage.
Yes. Tonight, we had not that. I will say we did hold Jalen Brunson to a very wonderful field goal percentage. He was only 10 of 26 from the field and scored 29 points. If you score 29 points on 26 shots, you are not playing very well. So that was very helpful. But then also, you look at our defensive rebounding percentage. We got 30 of the 44 possible defensive rebounds, which comes out to about 68%.
A little bit below water there.
So usually we'd like to be 71% at a minimum and above. Last game we were over 80, so that's got to clean up. And I do think that caused a lot of our problems. With any easy baskets they got, usually came off of offensive rebounds. They got 14 on the game. But when you look at it, and we're going to talk about the rest of the key statistics, we were able to make up those possessions in part of the aggregate. First of all, we're going to talk about the shooting percentage. We shot the ball 49% of the field to their 45, and we shot the ball 30% to their 32 from three. So we won the overall shooting battle, lost the three-point shooting battle, but destroyed them at paint creation and paint prevention. That's what I was talking about. If you go back and watch the breakdown when I started this podcast for the postseason, I said they cannot stop us at the rim. They cannot stop us at the rim. And it proved tonight. We've destroyed them in the paint.
And if you're going to shoot 30% from three, you better have the perimeter defense to hold them to no more than 32, because it's a 1 point game. I mean, we couldn't let them get out there for 30 or 39% from three and they'll shoot 30.
Well, and I talked about it last game. We're going to talk about it in the player-by-player, but Onyeka was a huge part of stopping this three-point barrage that happened. He was playing much better up the touch. The only open pick-and-pop opportunity that Cat got, Tony Bradley was on the floor for whatever reason. I know Mo took a really hard fall, and I don't think he looked at himself after that. But it was a really bad misplay by Tony Bradley. But that was the only time Cat got an open pick-and-pop look. He made it,
and he bottoms out right there.
And so, I mean, the whole difference in the game from the 3-point line was Onyeka getting farther up to touch and preventing them from just getting off that screen and either taking that initial 3-pointer or hitting that pop play to Cat. Both we took away very well.
And I will say, Brunson shot 26 times, scored 29 points. Towns shot 12 times. So we were keeping the ball out of his feet, but man, Jalen didn't share the ball very much.
He didn't, but I also think that it shows the limited nature of Cat's game.
That's true.
If you are taking away that pick and pop, he can't beat you. He has no other game.
because he was not hitting the pick and pop, he wasn't able to put the ball. He wasn't able to get you off your feet and take you to the rim. So that he didn't have any of those. That like Russell was talking about guarding the rim. He didn't have any of those drives to the rims because he wasn't hitting the three.
Well, and again, I think it also is a confidence thing. When you take away his number one outlet of scoring, he struggles because his brain goes, oh, well, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I've got all this. Usually I just catch it and I'm open and I shoot it and I make it. They're not giving me that. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then you press, you rush, you make bad decisions. You have some nasty turnovers that Cat had tonight. I think that being able to play the 3-point line the way we did tonight is a huge catalyst for winning the series. Got to play that pick and pop play.
And added that when you're one of the worst rim protectors, Cat, when you're one of the worst rim protectors as a 7-footer in the history of basketball, people 7 feet tall protect the rim. Man, you're not providing much on offense. You're not providing much at all.
Yeah, exactly. And it played out in the game tonight when they took Mitchell Robinson out and they put Cat back in at the beginning of the game. They lost the game right then.
Mitchell Robinson's a problem.
He was playing so well, and Cat was not. But moving on, we're going to talk about the free throw creation battle. So we only created 23 free throws to their 27. But they missed so many free throws that we had 18 makes to their 17 makes.
There's your ball game.
That we literally won by 1 point. So those missed free throws cost them the game. Now, we also had some missed free throws you wouldn't expect to have, like CJ missing 2 at the end of the game, things like that.
Wow.
But it was very helpful that last game we lost by 11 and we lost the free throw margin by 12. This game, we win the free throw margin by 1 and we win the game by 1.
And the key to that is they only shot 4 more free throws than we did. In the first game, what was it, like 35 to 20 or something like that?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
and they
goodness.
made 12 more than we did.
Yeah.
And so that to me, I'm going, there's the difference in the two games right there. Was just the officiating. The officiating was so bad tonight. I don't get me wrong, it was so bad, but it was less bad than it was in game 1. And then I look and say that's literally the difference in the game. Now, the other difference in the game, in game 1, we lost the stock battle drastically, but in tonight's game, we won these creativity stats. We had 22 assists, so their 22 assists tied that, but they only created 9 stocks to our 16. That is a huge difference in the game. So even though we didn't do a good job getting and collecting the defensive rebounding, the defensive glass, we were able to mitigate that problem by creating turnovers and blocking shots. And that is a huge difference in the game. We only had 12 total team turnovers, so they're 14. You start giving us a couple of extra possessions, give us a little bit of an advantage on free throw line, it makes up for some of these problems that we have in terms of like we didn't shoot the ball as well as they did tonight. And things like that, we can make up for that from the 3-point line. We can make up for those differences by getting more possessions, by taking the ball away, and hopefully by collecting more defensive rebounds in the games to come.
Basically, we got on our defensive horse and rode it to a win.
Exactly, especially in the fourth quarter.
Oh, man.
Only gave up 14 points the whole fourth quarter. Truly an awesome showing. Now, that is the 5 key statistics. We're going to now move to the player by player. And we had an interesting game where a lot of players played. We did have the problem with Moge getting hurt, and hopefully that he will be back for next game.
I hope that doesn't turn out to be something that sits him for a couple of games.
Yeah, I was worried he was in the concussion protocol because he did hit his head against the banister. If he's in concussion protocol, it's going to be rare that he's actually able to play Thursday, and we do need him. Bradley was very bad, and we'll get to that in a second.
Well, and that brings us to a question. I know we're not talking about Mo yet, but the thing is, I'm sitting here and I'm going, what does it take to get a foul call? He gets knocked into the banister hard enough that he is laying on the ground. Now, and a lot of players will lay there. Moge's not that guy.
Nope.
Moge is jumping up trying to get back on defense. If he's laying there, he's hurt. And I just don't understand it. I know it's Madison Square Garden. I know it's New York. I know.
Well, and yes, it was Cat that hit him
Definitely.
and pushed him, but he hit him and pushed him. He actively had a hand in his back and propelled him towards the banister.
Foul.
That, to me, I look at even say, like, you need to look at that for a flagrant. If you
Yes.
have a player that throws another player into the banister, even if he doesn't actually like push him hard, but he does direct his path towards flying into that banister, you have to look at that and say, is this a non-basketball play? And they didn't even call a foul.
Especially after Dyson got knocked into Brunson, and they checked on a flagrant, and he was being propelled in the air and hit him.
Yeah, it was I think a tremendously horrible officiated game. But Mo did only play 5 minutes. He had 0 points on 0 of 2 shooting. Um, he didn't record a single other stat because again he only played 5 minutes,
Right.
and he was -3. I mean that's basically a net zero. He was good defensively, just didn't get to play a lot.
And he would have got more minutes if he hadn't had to go out and be checked.
Yes, exactly. And I hope that he is able to play Thursday because again, the Tony Bradley minutes were so bad from Tony Bradley. Now we're going to talk about Tony right now. Tony played 12 minutes. He had 2 points on 1 of 2 shooting. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 block. So he did kind of fill the stat sheet a little bit, but he also did give up a ton of points that were easy, like the pick and pop that I talked about with Cat. He also gave up a really easy pick and roll to Cat, another really easy pick and roll lob to OG Anunoby. There were times where the defense was really rough from Tony Bradley, but he did help in some of the rebounding battle, and we were able to win his minutes mostly because, and I will say, I'll give credit, he set some amazing screens for CJ McCollum, and CJ got hot while Tony was on the floor. And then because of that, he finishes +7.
He's a very strong screen setter, but the thing on about his defense, if you're going to play drop, play drop. If you're going to play up the touch, play up the touch. What you can't do is stand in the middle of the water and let both things happen.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't do that.
It's the same thing that happened to Onyeka last game. If you're in no man's land, you're not taking away anything. You have to take away something.
Make them do something different than, and like I said, even if you just play drop and they just are nailing you, at least you're playing something. He was standing at the free throw line and just watch people run behind him and watch people shoot threes. I don't understand that.
The defense was just very bad for Bradley tonight, but again, he was able to mitigate that doing the kind of dark arts of playing post,
which he can do. He's done it for years.
And I'm happy that was the case because it did help us get our offensive players. CJ, yes, but also Jalen played a little bit better in the second half when Bradley was giving him some good screens and getting him a little bit more open. That was helpful.
And Bradley is a big body.
He is. And so I would not continue to go with Bradley if Mo's healthy, but I'm glad that he was able to make a positive impact in some way tonight. Moving on, we're going to talk about Gabe Vincent. So Gabe played 14 minutes. He had 3 points on 1 of 2 shooting, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and finished -2. Generally, like I've said, steady Eddie.
He's fine.
He's all right. And you're not going to lose his minutes. You're probably not going to win his minutes. And he's not going to blow your mind. And he's also not going to cost you the game. And so when Dyson or Naw or CJ have to come off the floor and you just need 6 minutes here or 2 minutes there or 4 minutes there, you know he won't cost you that time on the floor.
And that 3 was dirty. I mean, it was
yeah,
right at the
bottoms.
Boom.
And that kind of thing's helpful. He's going to play good defense. He's not going to turn the ball over. He might make a shot here and there. He's steady Eddie, and I like that. Moving on, we are going to talk about Corey Kispert. So I have been very adamant that I would not be playing Corey right now. He played 9 minutes. He had 4 points on 2 of 3 shooting, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, and 1 steal, and finished +10. He played fantastic.
He really did. When he came in, I was like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? And then I was like, well, he did give some energy. He gave some effort.
He played in transition, which is what I was talking about when he was at Gonzaga. He did.
He works his backside off on defense. I mean, he's
he
not a great
hard.
defender, but he played hard.
He got on the floor a couple of times, scrummed it up there for some rebounds. He attacked the basket, which is something that, again, we desperately need right now is for our players to attack the basket.
And if he's going to kind of give you that Alvarado energy off the bench, then 9 minutes is not
won't kill you.
Not outlandish. No.
And so he was +10 in 9 minutes. That is a huge swing in the game.
Yes.
And again, it's that he did the stuff that got him to be a lottery pick in the NBA. Like attacking in transition, playing hard, playing with energy, playing with hustle. That's the stuff that made him an NBA player, not the shooting ability.
No. One of the best players in college basketball. and really his plus his on off and everything Gonzaga was just incredible.
Yes.
And so that's the kind of thing that he needs to lean into. He's never going to start in the
No. But he can
NBA. He
be
can do
a
this. He can do
high
this.
energy role player.
He
And
can.
that's what
He
he
can.
desperately needs to do. And if he does that again, he can be a very, very beneficial and helpful player on any team he plays on.
Yes.
So great job tonight. Lastly, off the bench, we're going to talk about Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga had himself a ball game.
Don't win it without him.
He played 35 minutes. He closed the basketball game ahead of Dyson Daniels. He had 19 points on 7 of 12 shooting, 104 from 3. He had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 2 steals, and a block, and finished tied for game best, plus 10. He was fantastic. We don't win this game without him. We don't even come close to winning this game without him. He multiple times just said, I have a small dude on me. Okay.
How dare you do that?
I'm going to the rim. You put Brunson on me? You switch Brunson? Okay, I am going to the rim.
Jordan Clarkson, here we go.
You're going to the rim. Shamit, you're going to the rim. Even like Josh Hart, he took the rim a couple of times. He said, you are not big enough to stop me. Eat glass.
I'm too strong, I'm too athletic, and here I go.
Hope you like the taste of leather because I'm putting it on your head. That, to me, is his role. To be the unguardable dude if you switch. To be the switch punisher. And then if you don't switch, then we're going to screen well for our offensive stars, and they're going to go score layups and open threes.
And what it was I love the aggression on the switch. When he realized I'm being switched on, he would start to attack before the switcher got, I don't know what's the proper term for that, but before the guy who was switching onto him got his full guarding position, he's gone.
When the switch was happening, the guy who became his primary defender was out of position.
Yes.
He would catch it and just rip it to the rim and say, like, I am too big for you to get in front in time and stop me. And I'm too fast and I'm too athletic. I'm going to jump and I'm going to lay it in or dunk it on your head. And there is nothing you can do to stop it. And there isn't.
But one thing, Jonathan, love you, buddy, but please shoot some free throws in practice.
Please. Yeah, he needs to shoot some free throws. His free throw percentage is rough, but he played fantastic.
He did.
The defense was also very good. 2 steals and a block, creating turnovers, creating havoc, poking the ball out, making them have to shoot late in shot clocks. Even though if he got a hand on something and it didn't cause a turnover, it still makes them waste time. But then they're taking a difficult shot at the end of shot clocks. Really fantastic.
They could get to their set.
Exactly. So, moving to the starters, we're going to start with Dyson Daniels. So Dyson, they are putting centers on him, and that's given him trouble all year. He had 26 minutes, 6 points on 2 of 5 shooting. He had 4 rebounds and 2 assists, no turnovers. Had 2 steals and a block, but finished minus 15 because, again, the offense is just worse with him out there right now. And I'm not saying that is a huge negative on him. He just has to find a way to mitigate some of those problems, and he has to make some shots. He's taken some good open looks, the good floater looks, good late looks at opportunities in the rim. He's had a couple of open threes. Just got to make some.
Well, and I know I said Towns is one of the worst rim protectors in history of basketball, his size, and he is. But when you've got Robinson and him both in there, they be in there together, they've been there separate. That little thing where Dyson goes into it and draws and kicks and all that, with that extreme size, I think he's struggling a little bit with that.
Well, and I will say, I think also, he is very young, and this is his first time ever playing in the playoffs. And honestly, his first time ever being in like a real spotlight, because last year, yes, he won Most Improved Player, but it was still seen as like he's just a defensive specialist, and his team's not very good. They're not going to make the playoffs. This year it's like he is playing on a team that has real aspirations, and he is a starter on a team with real aspirations. You got to be good.
Well, and keep in mind, before he left New Orleans, he was playing less than 10 minutes a night.
Yeah.
So for, 2 years ago, he's playing 8 minutes a night and scoring 2 or 3 points. And so now he's having to adjust to life as part of the core, which he is, and I'm glad he is. He's best defender in the league. Let's just face it, he is. Even tonight, his defense was fine.
Fantastic.
But see, it's proof both you can have a great offense and not be so bad on defense that you plus minus is a mess. Dyson, that could happen both ways. Dyson had a great defense and not negative 15, a plus and minus, because his offensive game needs development. and he's working on it. It's better. It truly is. But he's working on it. The difference between him and superstar is how good he gets on offense.
Yeah, and I do think he can reach that for
I do
sure.
too.
Um, Moving on, we're going to talk about Nikhil Alexander-Walker. So Naw played 38 minutes. He had 9 points on 3 of 12 shooting. 2 of 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 6 assists with 2 turnovers. Didn't have a steal, but had 3 blocks from Nikhil Alexander-Walker and finished at a net 0. So this is the other side of that. You can have a horrible offensive game.
Which he's had 2 of them.
Yeah, he was awful offensively tonight. He was so tremendously awesome defensively that he made up for every bit of how bad he was offensively.
And I don't know how many it'll be, but there'll be a game in this series where he shoots lights out.
Yep. And that game, we're probably going to blow them out.
Yeah.
Because he's been so bad, and we're still in both of these games. I mean, we desperately need him to shoot the ball better. I'm not going to say we don't, but he has been so good defensively that it has not mattered.
That's true.
Moving on, we're going to talk about Onyeka Okongwu. So Onyeka tonight, he had 30 minutes. He scored 15 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, no steals, no blocks. Now, if you go back and contrast that to the last game, it looks like he played worse.
It does, but he didn't.
But last game he was minus 15, I think it was.
12.
Minus 12, whatever. And tonight he was minus 1. He didn't play amazing offensively, but he got the job done. But defensively, he was 1,700 times the better player than he played last game.
And so much better organizing the guys around him.
He was where he was supposed to be, doing what he was supposed to do, taking away the actions that they want to play.
If he plays like that the rest of the time, I'm not saying we're going to win the series, but we'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be a lot closer than it was that first game.
And I'll say this about you go 6 out of 9 from the field, didn't shoot the ball
Yeah,
enough.
I mean, they were also taking away him a lot. They were not letting him catch the ball on the perimeter very much.
Sure.
They desperately did not want him to be the one who was beating them because he is shooting such a high percentage from 3.
They respect his 3.
Yeah, and so I mean, I desperately think that if he plays that kind of defense, where he is just locked in and knows that they want to run that action that they run every time down the floor, and he takes it away, I think we will have a much better chance of winning this series. I'm not saying we're going to win it, but we have a much better chance. He played really fantastic tonight, and props to him. The defense was just so much better, and he rebounded pretty well. The team rebounding was worse. That was where the rebounding happened. People are going to give him flack for the rebounding all over and over and over again. It's not him. It is the team. Rebounding is a fist mentality. That's the only way you can do it properly.
Especially when you're trying to get Mitchell Robinson out there.
Yeah, I mean, there might not be a single player in the NBA who can box out Mitchell Robinson.
And so here's the thing. They're going to talk about his size. Yeah, he's small. He's too small. He's the second shortest center in the NBA.
Behind Claude Murray.
They don't short him. He's too small. But if he plays like he did tonight, it's okay.
Yeah.
You play basically a push plus minus, you're okay.
Well, and if you look at it, I was just going to point it out. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns had 18 points on 8 of 12 shooting, so not great numbers there. And only had 8 rebounds, 2 assists, had 3 turnovers that were all forced by Onyeka.
Right. And
he only finished plus 5 when he is. This team is built poorly. The Knicks are built poorly. If Cat is only plus 5 and Brunson is only plus 8, they're going to lose every game because they're so weak in their bench and their other starters.
Well, they truly are. They're built poorly. The problem that we have, and I'm not saying we can't overcome it, the problem we have is the way they're built is kind of our kryptonite.
Yeah.
They're built poorly, but the way they're built to beat the Atlanta Hawks, basically.
Yeah, I mean, because they're so huge.
Because they're so huge.
But their bench is so bad, and so if you are able to just kind of generally draw even with Cat, we're gonna win. And so that's what happened tonight. Moving on, we're gonna talk about Jalen Johnson. So Jalen played like you'd never seen a basketball for about 3 quarters, and then the 4th quarter he was awesome. He had 36 minutes. He had 17 points on 6 of 12 shooting, pretty decent efficiency. He was 5 of 5 from the free throw line. He had 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. Not great in terms of turnover to assist there.
But those 3 turnovers were the first 3 times he touched the basketball.
Yeah, he was very deer in the headlights again.
Yeah, he had 3 turnovers the first 3 offensive possessions he handled the ball.
But he had 1 steal, no blocks, and finished minus 10. Again, he was so bad in the first couple of minutes and really the whole first half and parts of the third quarter
Yeah.
that the minus is that. But that fourth quarter,
The whole comeback, the plus minus must have been horrible before the fourth quarter started.
he was so good in that fourth quarter. I mean, and
defensively too. I mean,
the defense was good all night long, honestly. But in the fourth quarter especially, he locked in and said, "You're not going to score anymore. I'm 6'10" and I'm super athletic, and I'm going to lock in and I'm going to pay attention, and you will not score." And that's what happened. They scored 14 points the entire fourth quarter.
well, basically, Kaminga said, "I'm 6'8" and I'm locking in. You're not going to score. And Johnson said, "I'm 6'10". I'm locking in. You're not going to score.
And we had Naw and Onyeka playing the defense he played tonight, and it was just untenable. And the catalyst of that was we were able to play through him on offense because he improved. He played so much better in that fourth quarter than he had been. And so when the offense started clicking again, that was because we were, again, playing through our best player. And as we're about to talk about, that helped the next guy. Talking about CJ McCollum, we had him play 35 minutes. He had 32 points on 12 of 22 shooting. He had 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, and a block, and finished +9. He was fantastic, but in that fourth quarter, playing off of Jalen being the guy who's the play finisher, catching open looks and making them, or catching the ball with an advantage against Jalen Brunson and just blowing by him and shooting it in. I mean, he was a wonderful player finisher in this game and was a huge reason, if not one of the only reasons we won the game.
You know, I've got no problem with you taking 10 more shots than Jalen if he's the one feeding you the ball with an advantage and you're taking Jalen Brunson to the basket. I mean, what is it, 5 fouls on Brunson?
Yeah.
And basically,
and majority of them came on fouling CJ.
Basically, they could not handle with Brunson what was going on. Now, they have to play Brunson, so what you have to do is make it impossible for Brunson to be on the court, even though they have to play him. So and that's about the way. And for that fourth quarter, I mean, Russell saw it early. He said, Brunson's looking around like, are we going to lose this thing?
There was about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and we were hanging around, and we made a couple of baskets, and it was like an 8-point lead for the Knicks. And it panned over to Brunson's face, and you could see it. He was sitting there going, "Are we going to lose?
We're going to let this team beat us."
Like you could see it on his face. Like he's like, I think we might lose this. And when that happened, I mean, you can ask him. I literally said, "We're going to win this basketball game." I look at his face. He looks petrified that they might lose this game. And they did.
And it was just how well we were playing on defense in the fourth quarter was what brought that to his mind.
And then also the fact
such a hard time.
They knew. I mean, you couldn't put Brunson on Naw. I don't care if Naw's having a bad game. You can't put Brunson on Naw.
No.
And we had Kuminga in there. And so you can't put him on Kuminga because he'll take him straight to the rim. So we had to guard CJ. And so he would put the ball in Jalen's hand. And then Jalen would find a way to set a screen or make a pass or attack and make Jalen Brunson move a little bit and then kick it to CJ, where CJ had an advantage every time he touched the ball. And CJ would destroy Jalen Brunson over and over and over again. And that won us the game. Playing good defense in the fourth quarter, playing through Jalen to CJ in the fourth quarter, won us and had us bring that comeback. Really fantastic stuff. Now, moving forward, our next game against the Knicks is on Thursday at 7 p.m. That's on Prime Video. For anybody who's watching, needs to be tuning in. Prime Video, 7 p.m. on Thursday, back in Atlanta. For those of the Hawks fans that are going to be in the building, the Knicks have a history of trying to invade other stadiums and making it louder for the Knicks than it is for the home team. Don't let that happen. I don't live in the area, so I can't go. I would love to go, but I can't. I got working things. So with that being the case, get in there. Let's support this team. This team has a chance to win this series. If you watch tonight's game and don't think that's the case, you're out of your mind. We had our best player play poorly for the majority of the game. We had Naw play poorly. We had our whole bench basically play poorly. They knocked out probably our most key defensive bench piece early in the game. The officiating was not in our favor. All of this went against us, and we still won.
And it was in the garden with the Knicks fans going bananas.
Exactly, and we still won. We are better than this team. We have a better constructed roster than this team does. We can win this series. Let's go in there on Thursday. Let's support the team. Let's be as supportive as we can, and let's get this win.
And what this has done is taken this series now to a best 3 out of 5. And the 3 of the 5 games are going to be in Atlanta. We took the home field advantage away from them. Now, if we can just hold serve at home, we can win this series.
Exactly, and that a huge part of that is the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Let's take it to them. With that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe here on the podcast. Also, hit me up on all the socials with any thoughts, comments, and concerns that you have about this series moving forward and whatever has happened in the past. I will say, I think that we made a couple of adjustments. I still think there are some adjustments to be made. Let me know what you think. Say hi to the old man. It's always great to have him around.
It's really good to be back. I love being here when Russell invites me and all that kind of stuff. Great. Always remember, like, I'm gonna let him do his patented line too. But always remember now, don't lose your joy over a basketball game, win or lose. But it's a whole lot easier to do it, to hold your joy when we win.
When we win, exactly. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed watching tonight's game. I hope we get to enjoy watching one Thursday. And above everything else, I hope you have a great day.